Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Angus, and today we are going to look at the Moto G. Now, any of my subscribers will have noticed that I have done an unboxing of it, so if you want to check it out, then have a look in the link description. Okay, so for some of you that don't really know what the Moto G is, it's basically the budget Android phone that is made by Motorola. Now, what's really nice about this phone is that it has taken basically the entire design from the Moto X and integrated it with this, but however they have taken some of the main specs from the phone and released this version. Even though this is a budget phone, the specs for this price are actually really good. So on the Moto G, we're presented with a 4.5 inch HD screen at 720p by 1280, and it also includes Gorilla Glass, which I think is a really nice feature on a budget phone. For internal options, you can either go for a 8GB or 16GB version. Now, you don't need to worry too much because this was previously a Google exclusive, so you have access to all of the Google Drive services, including Google Drive and also Dropbox. So on the front of the phone, we've got the microphone and also two LED notification sensors, and also one of my favorite features is the front-facing camera, which is 1.3 megapixels, and I think it's actually quite nice, and I'll show you some examples in just a bit. Unfortunately, because Google tried their best to make some cuts in this phone, it doesn't include a AC wall adapter, so you do have to use the USB micro cable. However, this can be quite a good benefit because it forces you to plug it into your computer, and that means that you can transfer loads of files on your phone from your computer. Now, this means that you can transfer all your music and also all of your films. But still, I think it would have been nice if it did come with a wall adapter. One of the main features for the Moto G is that it is pre-installed with Android 4.4 Kitkat. Now, I think this is great because 4.4 Kitkat is really fast, it has loads and loads of new features, and I think it's a really great operating system. What's also nice about the Moto G is that it has a quad-core 1.2 GHz CPU, which means it's going to be really nice for some multitasking. Now, you won't be able to do some seriously heavy multitasking, so if you're doing heavy gaming on this, then you might find some lag, but I think for general use and maybe a couple of games, I think it's perfect. I've been using this phone for about a week, and I have seen some lag when I have a lot of apps open, especially in demanding games, but I think that it's really nice, and especially for the price of a phone, the power is excellent, and I think it works really well with KitKat. The display itself is actually quite nice. I think it's really bright and it's got some really nice viewing angles. However, it can sometimes be a little bit distorted, and it can sometimes take quite a while to wake up when I'm using it or taking it straight out of my pocket. Now, one thing that I've heard a lot about is the camera, and I've seen that there's been quite a lot of bad reviews for the camera. Now, from my point of view, if anyone says that the camera on the Moto G is rubbish, then I think they're wrong because they're just comparing it to the highest end smartphones, and I find that the camera is actually quite good because it does come with autofocus and also it does come with LED flash. Now, the most confusing thing about the Moto G is that the back is removable, but you can't actually remove the battery. However, of course, you can remove the SIM card. To make it a little bit more fun and flexible, they've allowed you to change the cover so you can get different colours, but to be honest, I'm never really going to use this feature, and also I find that the covers can be quite expensive. And also, this does mean that you can take the back off and use the phone at the same time. The back is made of quite a nice smooth plastic, and it doesn't pick up any smudges or scratches, so I think it's quite good and durable, and also it makes it more light because the actual weight of it is 143 grams, so you're not going to find that the Moto G is heavy at all in your pocket. Now, what they've done in KitKat is that they've sort of used the similar feature in iOS, and they've integrated a quick starter app for the camera. Now, as I said before, it has autofocus, so it can actually take some quite nice photos. Also so nice about the Moto G is that Android have integrated some really nice features that I didn't even know were on the phone. For example, there is slow-mo video, and also you can take some panorama shots. Now, for a budget phone, this is more than I can ask for, so I think it's really great that this is a feature pre-installed. Unfortunately, the speaker is placed on the back, but it is actually fairly loud, and it is 5 watts, so it is louder than any other smartphone that I've heard. If you do put it up to full volume, then it can be quite disorientated. Also inside the Moto G is a 2070 mAh battery, so you do get quite a bit of charge. However, I do find that the battery can be quite disappointing. Now, this is mainly because you're running a quad-core CPU, and also you're running quite a bright screen, so it's not really surprising that the Moto G doesn't have very good battery life. That being said, there are plenty of saving tips and methods on Android KitKat which you can use, and also what I really like is that it tells you everything about the battery and what applications are using it. And of course there are always extra ways, so there's airplane mode, and also you can dim the screen. Now for me, I think that the 1.2 megapixel camera on the front is good enough for anything that you want to use it for. For me, I think Motorola have nailed it with the Moto G. It's got a really nice screen, it's powerful, and it's got a really nice design. And even better, you're getting 4.4 Kitkat on a really, really low price. Even as a general phone, I think it's great because as it's got Android 4.4 KitKat integrated, the phone system is really nice, and also the messaging service is really easy to use. Also so nice is that when the Moto G was released, it was a Google company, so it does mean you get exclusive to all the Google services, including Google Now, which I think is a fantastic service to use, and also really quick and simple. The only problem I found is that when I use Snapchat, it tends to go wrong with the front-facing camera. Now when I hold it sort of front ways, it does sort of go wrong, but when I tilt it, it sort of does this weird thing in the middle, which I have no idea why it does that. So that was my review of the Moto G. If you did enjoy it, please do give it a thumbs up, and thanks for watching.